Hi, I'm Cheryl McColgan, founder of Heal, Nourish, Grow, and I'm here today to share with you an unboxing of my latest shipment of dry farm wines. Just so you know, I'm not paid by them. I don't receive product for free. I have this subscription on my own and it's just a product that I love. However, I have become an affiliate for them because of my love of the product. So if you decide to purchase through my link, which is dryfarmwines.com/healnourishgrow, I do get a little small percentage, but there's no additional cost to you whatsoever. So now that that's out of the way, I just want to share with you the unboxing of this wine and also let you know I'm going to have a fun little experiment here at the end where I come back, test my ketones before, drink some wine, and then test them after so you can see the effects on my blood glucose and ketones and one of the whole reasons that people choose this dry farm wines when you're choosing a low carb or keto lifestyle. So anyway, let me just quickly tell you how I became interested in dry farm wines is that I heard an interview with the founder and it made some things a lot more clear that I had been thinking about for a while. For example, have you ever noticed that wine doesn't have a list of ingredients on the label? That's because they are not required to. It was some agreement between the winemakers and I believe the FDA, and that has prolonged. But there's actually 79 or 76, something like that, but 70 something ingredients that winemakers can put in wine that aren't grapes. So you really don't know what you're getting. Some of them are chemicals, some of them are not that great for you. A lot of it's because they do these modern wine methods where they're trying to mass produce wine, and in order to do that, they use some of these additives that create certain qualities in the wine. But how I originally started to notice this is for a few years, my husband had been saying he didn't feel that great after he drank California wine. And I was thinking, you're just being a little silly, right? But then when I really started to notice this for myself, I kind of agreed with him that I really did feel better when I drank French or Italian wines in particular. And it turns out what the founder of Dry Farm Wines had found, when he started noticing this for himself, he didn't feel that great. He felt like the wines were maybe too high in alcohol, making him a little too drunk instead of having an enjoyable time, just being social, enjoying your wine with your gourmet food, making it a big part of cooking and just like as a lifestyle. He wanted to really enjoy that every day, but he just wasn't feeling well. So he started doing some testing. And that's when he just started to discover, some of these chemicals and things that weren't good for you, as well as the wine being, higher in alcohol. That wasn't a way that he felt it could work into his daily life. So when he started testing some of the European wines, in particular natural wines, he found that they were lots of good qualities, lots less chemicals, lower in sugar, lower in alcohol. And that's why he started this curated club called Dry Farm Wines. So that's kind of the basics. I'm going to go into more of why you should drink healthy wine and what those factors are in the article over at my site at healnourishgrow.com. But until you go click over to that, let's just unbox the wine here and then we'll have my little experiment with the ketones. So let's see what we got this time. And I'm just going to put on my glasses here because labels are kind of tiny and I might not be able to read it so well without them. So here we have, now a lot of these are difficult to pronounce because they're foreign, but this one's actually from Romania, which I don't think I've ever had a wine from Romania before, called Knockville Versil. So that's the first one there. It's a mixed case, 6 red, 6 white. The next one we have a Spanish wine. This one's a mouthful, I'm not even going to attempt to try it. This one is a Grenache Veltliner. And that is Austrian, not a surprise based on the name. This is a red, this is a nice French one, Le Chateau de Mon Père. This one, I was hoping it had a region on the back, but I don't see that. Here we have another nice white, La Malavia. This one is Italian. Oops, that's the front of it there. Glad I didn't drop that. Here we have another white, Cabro. I'm going to assume this is Spanish, got a cool little goat on the front. Yes, this is a product of Spain, 11.5% alcohol. Here we have Vino Rosso from Italy. This is a red wine, 12.5% alcohol. It's from Monferrato, Italy. And then we have Clos Ségur. I think this one's French as well. It is, doesn't say what region of France, but that's also 12.5%. Here we have another white, Greco Bianco. This one's from Italy. And here's the last three. We have Note Blanche, which is a white Gamay Blanc de Noir. This one's got an interesting, unique Blanc de Noir style wine made with estate-grown Gamay from French Vincent and Northern Beaujolais. Hand-picked and directly pressed without skin contact to keep it very clean, fresh, and white. That sounds pretty interesting. I think that's one I'm going to chill. This is a French one. That's the one I'll do the little ketones experiment for you with. This one is Blaufränkisch. I'm thinking that's German or Austrian. Yes, this is Austria. This has got a very long description. From the mountains and the sandy, loamy, south-facing slopes of the Pandorf Plain, dark berry fruit and the savory spice of an herb garden are accompanied by fine grain tannin and highly delicate. Wow, that sounds good too. Tempted to do that one for the experiment, but I think I'm going to stick with white since it's not going with my food, just drinking here. And then the last one is from Loire Valley, which I actually remember on the video he said that wines from the Loire Valley are typically low in sugar, even the ones that they, not necessarily just from their club, but that's a great region that you can just look for, and that they're typically very natural, nice wines. This one's from Domaine de la Charmois, and it has 12.5% alcohol. So I'm going to go ahead and chill this one up, and then I'll come back and I'll test my ketones, get an initial reading, drink some, wait maybe half an hour, test them again so you guys can see what effect the dry farm wine has on your glucose and ketones. Of course, it's different for everyone, but this will just give you some idea of kind of how it affects you. And always, it's best to test for yourself or to test for your own experience, but always having at least somebody report on it I find that to be very helpful. So thanks for watching. I'll be back here shortly and we'll do the second half of the video. Okay, now for the fun part. I'm going to drink some of this dry farm wine and then test my ketones and blood glucose before and then test after, and we can see what effect that has on both. So I went with the Note Blanche, and this is a French white Gamay Blanc de Noir. So what I thought I'd do is, a typical serving of wine is 5 ounces. I'm going to actually have 2 servings. I'm doing this for the interest of science, but so I'm going to pour 10 ounces. So I have my little scale here, and I picked a rather large glass. I'll drink the 10 ounces, not too quickly because that might be a little crazy, but probably within a half an hour I think would be good, because that would be more of a pace that you might normally do it. That might be a little faster than a more social situation. But I want to do that so that we can get the alcohol in there and then wait another half an hour and then measure the ketones and blood glucose again. So let me go ahead and set this to ounces, and gotta open it. Probably should have done that first, but you'll get the full experience this way, right? So when I've had their wines in the past, I really enjoy both the red and the white. But for me, typically, if I'm just going to drink a glass of wine, I prefer white quite often. And then if I'm having it with food, I really prefer red. So I don't have a strong preference either way. Now pour into here 10 ounces. It's going to look like a pretty giant glass of wine. That is about 6 right there. All right, and I just want to make sure that that looks about right. That's about half the bottle. I think there's 24 ounces in a glass of wine, so that should be pretty good. It's actually 10.16, just to be absolutely accurate for the sake of the experiment. And now I'm going to use my Keto Mojo to take ketones and blood glucose. Take that out of there so I can easily show it to you. I haven't eaten or drank anything besides water for well over 4 hours now, so there shouldn't be any conflict with anything that I previously consumed. Okay, so first doing the ketones. it takes 10 seconds for it to read. So we need 2 more seconds here. Okay, and we're at 2.8. I think you're getting a glare on there, but you can see that, I believe. And let's do the glucose. Only takes 5 seconds to read the glucose. Okay, and that's at 79. Again, I don't know what's up with this glare. It's my windows, I guess, but 79. Okay, so that is, that's all good. And I should probably make sure I look at the time or start a timer on my computer. Okay, so I will start drinking and in about a half an hour, we will check again to see what the readings are. Cheers. Wow, very nice. Not like a sommelier by any means. I'll say it's just a nice, dry, crisp, and then kind of a fruity flavor as well. Really nice. It's going to help the writing the rest of this wine article go a little easier. All right, here we are about an hour after first starting to consume the dry farm wine, and then waiting an additional 30 minutes for it to kind of take effect. So about an hour after I started consuming, a half an hour after consumption ended. And now we'll take the ketone and blood glucose readings again. So again, it's the Keto Mojo here that I'm using to test this. And ketones first. So I think there's less of a glare now that the sun is not quite out. Okay. And 10 seconds, we'll have the ketone reading. Oh, wow. Okay. 3.3, which is actually higher than when we started. And there is a small study that says something about that. It will be in the article on Heal, Nourish, Grow, where ketones are slightly higher when drinking alcohol. And you would expect for the glucose to be the same, just because there's literally no sugar in this wine, under a gram per liter. And wow, okay, 73 for the glucose, which is actually less. So it seems that this experiment, you would say that dry farm wines is definitely, you know, in moderation, not going to affect your ketosis, probably not going to affect your results. It still has calories, of course. Most wine is about 100 calories per serving. So for the 10 ounces I had, that's considering 2 servings, about 200 calories. Might be interesting to retest this on just, you know, some random Sauvignon Blanc or whatever it is, like a drier wine, but something that still has more residual sugar, especially something that would be a US wine. But for now, you can see that if you're really serious about staying in ketosis for the most amount of time that you can, especially if you have a lot of fat to lose, or you just, you know, want to drink cleaner wines, things that don't have a lot of additives or chemicals or mold or fungus, they test for all of these things. And again, when you read the article over at Heal, Nourish, Grow, you'll see a lot more of the things that they test for and why you might want to choose a cleaner wine. So anyway, hope you thought that was obviously must be a little buzzed here. Hopefully you thought this was entertaining, and I certainly did. I've never done a test like this as far as testing ketones and glucose while you're having alcohol. So there you go. Hopefully you liked this, and be sure to go over to the website, read the article, and I look forward to seeing you again some other time. Thanks.